Anyone who's had the misfortune of being around me recently has heard me yap about my beloved, my dear, the best boy, Isol. I even molded my Discord to be him. He's just like me, for real, for real. Isol, OG Isol, is a hero in a large lineup in a show called To Be Hero X. Peak media that I do not feel enough people are watching. The show has one of the most fun superhero premises I've seen in a while. Your world is built on trust, your opposition on fear, though the two can intermingle. Trust is what gives our heroes their powers, an example being Lucky Cyan, a young girl who, while on a crashing plane, was just a baby. The people around her reminisced about their children and loved ones, thus they all put their faith and trust in her safety once the plane crashed. She survived, the rest of her life molded by the luck people trusted she possessed. The opinion of the people makes, breaks, and molds our hero's very being, another example being Fernman, a firefighter who, when faced with falling rebel that was primed to crush a young girl, swept in to both stop and hold the rebel in place until help arrived. Once his heroic act made headlines, he was swiftly seen as indestructible, standing firm, and that's just what he did. He stood firm, he couldn't bend over, he was perpetually locked standing upright, a horrific fate the more you think of it. But you're here, and I'm here to talk about Isol. Yang Chen has far more screen time than my beloved, but I think we have so much to work off with what we've been given, and the tale told so far is an absolute tragedy for both men, though my bias settles with our OG Lightning Bolt. One of the first things I noticed once I began to really dig deep into the media and heroes of To Be Hero X was the music. To Be Hero X's music is a massive part of their storytelling, with most characters having music video introductions that give us insights into their backstories and character, with the music itself being something that fits the hero's persona, arc, and being. So what is Isol's song? Neon Rain, a cinematic, deeply sad song that resonates with each note, the lyrics and melody melding into a somber feel. This was done on purpose, and it grants us some entry into Isol, someone we only get to hear from and see every so often, but they do well to make each scene count. Neon Rain makes it a point to outline some specific feelings over and over, all tying into this feeling of deep-seated sadness, feeling as though it's all being laid out in broad daylight for everyone to see. A stark difference from the harsh, almost scary intro of the song. Each line of this song can be tied into one singular fight, a fight I feel has completely changed and molded Isol as a person. Zero. The world's first hero, a near demigod who fell into chaos and wrongdoing, was defeated by the man of the hour, a fight that didn't go without sacrifice. While using an extremely powerful move that leaves his defenses open, Isol lost his arm, but more than that, he lost Zero, who I believe is heavily implied to be a friend of his, someone he misses greatly, someone he wants back. The scene is lit by neon signs flashing, "You're out of time, here comes the rain, never to see your face again." Every line is telling us exactly how Isol felt during and after his fight with Zero. In Isol's character intro, we see his battle with Zero, someone he calls out to, maybe even tries to reason with, but after his reminiscing at what may be a memorial, he is met with a dark, shadowed version of himself attempting to kill him. He's riddled with guilt, regretting every moment of the battle. He did what had to be done, but that doesn't take away from his guilt and his loss, and, in my opinion, what's implied to be suicidal idealization. From then on, we see him begin to take a shift as a person and as a hero, going from a sleek, minimal armor, slim, almost comic-like hero outfit and vibe to the mecha god we see in this show. His defense is ramped up, his equipment is hardcore, and even his body type has been built up and bulked incredibly. Alongside all of that, he refuses to use the same move he used in the Zero fight. That is, until Yang Chen and Rock force his hand in their battle. Before we start getting more into their moments, though, the most recent episode of this script was episode 20, where we see Isol and Nice in the ruins attempting to stop the Commission from finding any leads on suppressing fear, while also intercepting our dear poor baby boy. Look at him, there he is, he's so cute, look at him. Why? Why would Isol, someone who has shown himself to be a man who doesn't care what higher-ups or even his believers to some extent tell him to do, why is he here with Nice, trying to kill innocent people? Rock is trying to bring back Zero. They need fear, trust, the likes to do it. While Nice is in the ruins, killing innocents in the name of becoming a top 10 hero, I believe Isol is there for his own conscience and guilt, a want to see Zero again. I can see a world where he and Rock share a deep grief over the loss of the world's first hero, thus leaving them in a place where they're willing to do some dark things to achieve his resurrection. Granted, there's so many heroes, overlapping relationships, and the likelihood that Isol doesn't even know. It is all up in the air, and this is just a very flimsy theory of mine for now, so don't take it too seriously. But let's get back to Isol and Yang Chen. Yang Chen became a hero off of the back of Isol, a man who saved him as a child, a man Yang Chen imitated and often dressed up as to perform stage plays. He's also the man that Yang Chen suspects of murder. We know this to be false, we know who was behind it all, but Yang doesn't. Isol never takes his mask off, not even in the safety of his own spaces. Hidden away from the public eye, with only a manager to see him, he's shirtless, working out, his back is turned, even his replacement arm is off. These are all signs to show some level of comfortability and vulnerability, and yet the mask stays on. The very mask that allows the younger hero to co-opt his title and his power. When addressing the public, Isol says he wears the mask as a symbol. It's become a beacon of hope and trust, and while I do believe that to some extent, I think he told us why he keeps it on in private at the start of his speech.
Am I unable to face my true self?
Happy birthday, sweetie. I know you'll grow up to be brave like Isol someday.
Or maybe I'm afraid of losing someone else.
While discussing reasons he doesn't show his face, his voice becomes lower and softer when asking if it's because he cannot face his true self. I believe this is the case for his repetitive, maybe even therapeutic use of the mask. It's a beacon of hope, yes, a sign he's a hero, but more than a literal mask, it's a metaphorical one. Hiding behind heroism, buried deep in his work but still regretful and yearning to be freed from all that he faces. There are so many theories and ideas about whether or not the fight between Isol and Yang Chen was staged, real, so forth. I can personally see either being true, but whether or not Isol went in knowing it was staged and that he was meant to lose, or if he went in without knowing that, I believe his reasonings would have been the same. He's done. He's tired. He's done so much, seen so much, lost so much, and now he has an out. So many heroes we see in this series start with such love and ambition, but the corporate horrors of becoming the faces of brands, power struggles, maintaining the public eye, and worst of all, losing autonomy has shifted righteousness into disdain and despair. Moon wanted to be free, Firm Man wanted to save people, Lin Ling wanted to protect what was dear to him. There's a direct pattern of people with great ambition being twisted into something different, into something darker. Isol couldn't take the mask off, Yang Chen could, maybe now, assuming he did indeed die, or even if he didn't in that fight, he can finally be rid of that mask and all it stood for, but also all it took from him. This is my first time trying to do a more theory/conjecture type of video. I really love Isol and I adore to be Hero X, but I also am not used to making content like this, so if I jib some stuff up, add some dumb theories, yada yada, I hope you can be a little gracious with me. Characters with such deep complexities are super soft on my heart, and the way this man holds himself, speaks, acts, it was also captivating from the start. I need more people to talk about him, draw him, hype him up, be like me, and be a #1 Isol fan. Call to action aside, if you liked me at all, you should gander at my Twitch. And with that, I did write this right as the next episode of To Be Hero is dropping. I'm filming it now, that's my phone buzzing. The episode drops in like 20 minutes, so fuck all of you, I'm gonna go watch episode 21.